Eliza, I don't know why I'm having a hard time with your name. I know it's Eliza.
Eliza.
Come on over.
Actually, I think it's Elisa.
No, I've spoken to Eliza on the phone. I'm pretty sure it's Eliza.
I think it's Elisa.
Eliza, is it Eliza or Eliza?
Come over here and tell us.
Come tell us over here.
Can I tell you one more thing we're getting the kids this year?
Yeah.
I'm asking them. Can I tell you one more thing we're getting the kids this year? So yes, Christmas Eve is happening. We're baking goods. We're going to the fire and the police and the armed forces is around this area. I should add one thing. The personnel in the fire and police and armed forces centers are knocked off their asses with appreciation.
Yeah, they really are. It's
unbelievable.
So we're going to capture it all in video this year.
Yeah, we are. We might live stream some video.
Yeah.
So here's something I want you to consider. Why am I pausing? I'm pausing because it's a topic that a lot of people might not understand. Okay, but I'm going to try and I don't mean that because you're idiots. Far from that, but because I love the whole topic of wealth creation, investments, financial, etc. So I've made it a passion of mine. Well, it's always been a passion, but I've made it a purpose of mine to learn and to add to my acumen of that particular thing. So over the last few months, I've been studying a great deal about people under the age of 18, at least in Canada, owning stocks.
Yeah.
And what's that? What's the funny?
I'm picturing Chase in this conversation.
Chase is going to be a gazillionaire before he's 17. I'm convinced.
I want stocks.
Yeah, he's obsessively smart when it comes to numbers and organization. Yeah. But long story short, in Canada at least, there's two different ways you can purchase stocks for children. And we're particularly attached to one of those ways, which means essentially that at the age of 18. So the stocks that we would purchase for our kids now are in our name. Right. And we control the kind of the investments too and the withdrawing of money from those stocks. But at the age of 18, they automatically get transferred to our kids.
Right.
We don't have to sign a piece of paper. They're automatically transferred. We set them up that way.
Right.
So we're going to buy our kids stocks. We're going to buy them starter stocks, starter shares in certain companies that are high quality, good companies, environmentally sound, socially responsible, that kind of thing. And we are going to teach them all about what DRIP and SPP means. So DRIP, if you're not familiar, means that rather than getting a dividend check mailed to you every quarter, which is your interest on your investment, the company you bought into automatically just reinvests it back into itself. Okay, so you never see the dividends. Okay, and the SPP essentially means that you can contribute more money, either every month or every quarter, depending on what that company's regulations are. So I'm a bit of a nerd with this stuff because I love it. But we're going to purchase starter stocks or starter shares in a couple of very good companies for our kids this year. Right. And we're going to teach them all about DRIP and SPP and set them up on a budget. Yeah. Because here's one more reason behind that. Our kids actually earn money from us. We don't give allowance. Did you get an allowance? I never got no allowance.
Every time I asked my mom for an allowance, she gave me that look, what
right?
What are you talking about?
Every time I asked my dad for an allowance, he gave me the story of how he grew up in rural Italy, walking on his hands because his feet were too sore or something like that. I didn't get an allowance. We don't give an allowance, but our kid, do you know who makes the family meal every single night, Monday through Friday? Yeah. Who prepares the entire meal for me, for Carrie, for Chase, and for herself, Maya. Maya does all the cooking in this house, and she gets paid for it, right?
And she's got her little book, it's like a payroll thing as well, that she fills it in, and she has to get us to sign it, and she's really diligent about it. Chase as well.
But that's an important point. She has 3 or 4 different ways she can make money in our house. One of them is she prepares meals. But every single night, she brings me her little notebook, and she shows me, okay, Bubby, I made dinner tonight, that's this much money. I did this, that's this much money. Here's the date, will you please initial it? And I initial it. Yeah. And then at the end of the month, she brings us the book, she tallies it with us, and we pay her the cash accordingly. Yeah. So why? Why is that all good? Responsibility. Keeping track of money, proper fiscal responsibility. You work, you get paid.
Right.
Now we're adding the starter shares, and we're teaching them how to reinvest more money into those shares,
Right.
which means now, even at 11 and 13 years old, they have a budget because they get paid so much money per month.
Yep.
And yeah, they want to spend some of it, and that's good. Spending money is good. You should work hard, you should make money, you should spend it. But you should always pay yourself first. So guys, here, look at this is how much money you made this month. This is the percent you want to put into your shares. Buy more shares into that company.
Yeah.
And then this is how much you want to kind of leave in the bank, and that's how much you can spend. It is never too early to teach your kids financial responsibility.
Yep.
From the ground up. The ground up means work hard. When you work hard, you get paid. But keep track of that money, which is why we've taught her to make me initial and that kind of thing. Then invest your money first, save a little bit of it second, and spend the rest because spending's good.
Yeah.
It's good for the economy, it's good for the soul, but you were responsible in the first two spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went on a long diatribe there, but like I am thrilled this Christmas to be gifting as a present to my kids starter shares.
Yeah, absolutely. I love
And
that.
for those of you who don't know, if you choose to put money into an investment at a young age and contribute to it regularly, once a month, once a quarter, even a little bit, and you just leave it there for 25 years, you're going to walk away with a ton of cash. That's what we're teaching our kids.
Absolutely.
Wealth, patience, intelligence with money.
Yeah.
Woo! I can't wait. I just probably blew the
my
mics
turn.
off of James's.
It's my turn.
Poor James is plugged in and I just blew his like audio
So
out.
I have a couple things to add to that. So
Yeah.
this all started talking about the holidays, and this very much is the holidays, right? Because
Yeah.
we talked about gifts and entitlement and preparing our kids for their financial future. So I want to add a couple notes to your topic that you just brought up and these aren't really part of the holidays, but it
Yeah.
kind of fits into the conversation. So the first thing I want to say is some people might automatically make the interpretation. So what are you saying? You pay your kids to do everything? And no, we don't. They still are helpful around the house in things that they don't get paid for. So like Chase takes out the garbage, or they help us clean up and tidy up and do the things. Like it's not they don't look at us and say like, well, if you want me to do that, how much are you going to pay me for it? Like that's not the way it works. So I think that that's really important to understand in that context. So you're not essentially, if you decide to do this with your own kids, thinking that you have to pay them for everything, right?
Yes.
So that's number one. The second thing that I wanted to say with regards to all this is all on the parenting track, right? A lot of what we talk about, obviously everything we talk about in eliminating your limits, in mindset and all that aspect, is something that's not taught in school,
No.
right? Self-awareness, understanding yourself, knowing yourself is something that's not taught in school, but neither is financial management.
Yes.
No one teaches you how to take care of your wealth and how to build, wealth or be financially savvy in school. And I find that so absolutely astounding because if you think about the world at large, the three things that I would say are probably the biggest areas of like challenge and struggle are a lack of happiness, aka not enough self-awareness and understanding of self, financial distress.
Yes.
There you go. We're not taught that in school. And then the final one I would actually say relates to health and obesity and taking care of yourself.
Sure.
And let's face it, the health in gym in school is an hour a week at most.
At most, yeah.
So, I think that we have to take it on as our responsibility to be able to make sure that we're equipping our kids with this. So, yeah.
I love that. I just read some comments while you were talking there. Chris Goldowski's loving this because obviously he's a finance guy.
Yeah.
I like that you like that so much. And yes, it's such an important thing. Tanya, Christina, Chris Goldowski, a lot of people chimed in and talked about allowances for kids. Silly.
Right.
Lisa Arsenault as well. But there's a lot of people who still do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, we're not challenging you. Raise your kids your way. It's up to you.
No, absolutely.
But we're challenging you to consider the ramifications.
Sure, absolutely.
Of getting money for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what that gives you as a mindset as you get older. We have enough entitlement in this world.
Yeah.
That in our house, we reign supreme over our kids,
Right.
which means we can condition them the way we feel is best.
Right.
And when you grow up with an attitude, a work ethic, nothing is given to me without me providing effort for it, you're better off as an adult.
Yeah.
In every capacity.
And so I'm going to add to that, and then I've got the next topic
Yeah.
I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to add is You know, I know so many parents who come, like people who we coach, who'll come to us feeling challenged and struggled about, you know, why their kids are acting a certain way.
Sure.
And they have to do that. They have to kind of go through the process of recognizing that that's the way that they've conditioned them to be, right? If you give a child an allowance, for example, and I am not condemning. I'm just merely, you know, showing this, like shedding some light on it. You give a child an allowance.
I'll condemn it.
No, but I'm not condemning parenting, is my point.
No, of course.
You give a child an allowance for their entire life, and then at the age of 16, when you have the expectation of them to go get a job, and they kind of balk at you.
Sure.
But they've been given it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, why would they, right? So we have to, you know, what we're lining them up for,
Yes.
you know, essentially.
Is to work hard.
Yeah. So
Be a good contributor to society. By the way, I should take a moment to say there are still 6 or 7 people over there. You don't need to. Why? Look, we have cameras and lights in your way. You're in the cheap seats. Come over here.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/Brian&Carrie Live. Get your butts over here. Get off of there. That's number 1.
Yeah.
Okay? Number 2, if you haven't already, please share this right now. Just click share. Tell everybody how epic Brian&Carrie in the morning really is. And if you're on our share team, give it a share out now if you could. By the way, share team is about the most beautiful bunch of people. It's an intimate community that we connect with daily. These are the most vibrant, lovely, wonderful folks on the planet who they want to help. They want to spread the right message in the right way. So if you'd like to be part of our share team, brianandcarrieshareteam.com. Go there right now.
I love that.